In this video you will learn about the 7 chord and the trouble it causes. In a major key there are 7 chords. 3 of these are major and 3 of these are minor. This leaves us with one chord, 7. The 7 chord is a special case. It is diminished. What is a diminished chord? A diminished chord is neither major or minor. It has a harsh, discordant sound which is difficult to sing over. It is also tricky to play on the guitar. For these reasons, it is rarely used in popular music. If you need further help with the diminished chords, check out the video linked in the description below. What can we do to use the 7 chord? In order to make the 7 chord more palatable and useful in a chord progression, there is a simple technique that is widely used. Step 1. Write out the 7 notes in the major scale for the key that you are using. Step 2. Take the 7th note and drop or flatten it by half a step or a semitone. Step 3. Use this note as the root note or first note of a major chord. If you need help with major chord construction, we have a video in the description for you. This major chord is often labelled as flat 7. Let's use an example to clarify this. In the key of C major, the 7 chord is B diminished. The C major scale has the notes C, D, E, F, G, A, B. The 7th note is B. If we flatten this half a step or a semitone, then it becomes B flat. If we use this note as the root note of a major chord, we create a B flat major chord. So the flat 7 chord in the key of C major is B flat major. How can we use the flat 7 chord? Unlike the 7 chord, the flat 7 chord is used widely in popular music across different genres. It can help bring unexpected toughness to a progression and allows us to get more mileage from our songwriting. It has a particular association with the blues, so for our first tip, we will use it in a 12-bar blues progression. Tip number 2. Be careful approaching flat 7. Because it is a borrowed chord and uses notes from outside of the major scale, the flat 7 can't be treated exactly like one of the other chords in a key. In order to avoid harmonic confusion, unless this is what you want, it is best to approach the flat 7 chord from the 1, 2, 4 and 6 chords. For example, Tip number 3. Use flat 7 to create bass lines. If you've seen any of our inversion videos, links in the description, you will know that you can use major and minor inversions to help you create interesting bass lines. The flat 7 chord gives us an additional option when thinking about bass lines. For example, here is a rising bass line using flat 7. Tip number 4. Use flat 7 inversions as chord replacements. Using the inversions of the flat 7 chord can open up chord replacement opportunities. The first inversion has the same bass note as the 2 chord, so it can be used to replace it. The second inversion has the same bass note as the 4 chord, so it can be used to replace that. This means you can recycle progressions with these chords and swap out a chord for the relevant flat 7 inversion. This could be used in later repeats of a progression to generate new interest. For example, a standard 1-6-4-5 progression could become 1-6, second inversion flat 7, 5. Tip number 5. Be careful with your keys. When you create progressions using flat 7, you can sometimes run into issues. Look at this turnaround in the key of C. And now look at this turnaround in the key of F. Do you see the problem here? They are exactly the same chords, but from different keys. This may lead a songwriter to become confused as to what key they are in. Later progressions could sound correct, but the songwriter could mistakenly think they are in the other key. This ambiguity can be used to play with listeners' expectations if used correctly, but if you want to avoid it, then make sure you combine the use of several chords in a key with repetition to anchor the listener's expectations into a certain key. If you want some more chord progressions to use the flat 7 in, then check out this playlist for inspiration.